Good evening.
Good evening, Dr. Meltzer.
Hello.
I've listened to you for so long, I feel like you're a member of my family.
Thank you,
And I
sweetheart.
really need some advice from you tonight.
All right, tell me about it.
On Sunday, my husband and I drove to Washington, D.C. from New Jersey
Yeah.
to a major hotel chain to attend a conference that my husband was involved in, and I was going to have fun while he was working. When we arrived there, the bellhop took our baggage from the car and gave us a ticket that indicated the number of bags, and we were told our luggage would be delivered to our room.
Right.
We went and parked our car and checked in, and to make a long story short, we received, after a period of time, 3 small pieces of luggage that contained shoes and some papers.
But they were not yours.
Yes, they were ours.
Oh, they were yours.
But the 3 large ones that had all our clothing in it disappeared. After a period of time, they admitted that the luggage had somehow been lost. Now, we gave it to the bellhop right at the hotel, and yet they disappeared. They never got to the room. So we stayed overnight, and the following day, we issued a report with the police department in Washington, and then got a report that we filled out for their insurance company. And we came on home because we had no clothing to wear, and my husband couldn't attend his meetings because we were dressed very casually, and he needed to be dressed in a different way. We missed some dinners that we were supposed to, a dinner we were supposed to go to because we were not dressed up for it. At any rate, I'm beginning to feel that at this point we will never see those 3 large pieces of luggage again. I did write today a letter to the executive manager
Of the hotel?
of the hotel in Washington.
What did you say?
Well, I told him I was very unhappy.
Well, that all?
And yes, in general, I repeated what had happened. We never talked to the executive manager. We talked to an assistant manager.
A question.
Yes.
Has anybody ever made you an offer for reimbursement?
No. And we were kind of told that we would hear from their insurance company.
All right, here's what you do right now while it's still fresh in your mind.
Right.
Sit down and start in with luggage number 1. You and your husband recollect everything that was in there.
All right, we had to do that for their insurance company, and we did receive a copy of that. We were to list the value of everything and approximate age of every piece of clothing that were in 3 large suitcases.
Right.
That they have a copy of and will be sent to their insurance company.
Right. Now, of course, the next step is for an adjuster to contact you.
All right. Now, we are so far away.
By the way, what did it add up to, honey?
Oh, my.
A lot of money?
A lot of money, yes.
Give approximately, what was the bottom line?
I wish my husband would get on the
Well,
phone.
very often.
I think he's listening on the other line.
Hubby, are you there?
Maybe $1,500, $2,000. I mean, there were
all right.
suits and
Go ahead.
jackets and
I'm listening.
sweaters and
Yeah, I'm here.
yeah.
Okay, what is that? What was the bottom line?
Well, I would say about $2,500.
$2,500. Okay, now what I would do is I would wait 2 weeks.
2 weeks, okay.
If I did not hear from an insurance adjuster, I would then send a telegram to the manager of the hotel. Okay, because you don't know who the insurance company is. And then I would wait 2 weeks after that.
2 weeks more.
And if you still did not hear then, you would send them another telegram telling them if you did not hear within a week, you would file a lawsuit to collect.
Is it normal for the insurance company to give you depreciation on the clothes that you lost?
Well, you see, what you did, sir, you did one thing wrong. You were trapped by them. I didn't want to tell your wife that, but I will tell you that, hubby, is man to man. What you did is you sat down and you made out a list. Understand? And you put dollars next to it. And you gave them a copy. At least they told you to do it.
Yes.
And by doing that, you have, let's say, limited the amount of the claim. You see, if you have, there's an old, let's say, bit of advice. When you have to fight, you fight. You see, if you have to go out and get an attorney and sue them, you have now limited the amount that you can claim. So my radio family, if you ever get yourself in a situation like that, please, if you make up the list, but don't put any numbers next to it.
Even though they ask you to put numbers.
Well, the answer is, which you could have said, well, I've got to get back home. I've got to check my checkbook. I've got to check some bills so I can know what numbers to put next to it.
Right.
You see?
When do you tell them the amount of money?
What's that?
When would you finally tell them the amount?
I would finally tell them the amount of money when the adjuster came in, and I wouldn't give it to them in writing. I would tell them the amount of money orally, because you've got to have flexibility. Because if you have to go down there and spend $1,000 or $2,000 in legal fees, your attorney wants to recover that in a claim. You understand what I just said?
Yes.
So don't get so, it isn't the end of the world.
No, it's not. It's just that it happens to be all our best clothes.
Well, no, I just want to tell you, next time, I hope it never happens to you next time. But my radio family, if this happens to you, don't put numbers next to it. You see, the reason why I say that, this is an old technique that I learned many years ago. If you go back enough in my lifetime, I used to be an appraiser at one time. Not 100%, but I used to do a lot of it. And we used to do that very often. We'd go into a home, and they'd say to us, well, this we just did some work, alterations, and we'd say, how much did you spend? And they'd run out and bring out the bills, and from then on, they never could claim more than the amount they showed us. Understand?
So that's what you get for being cooperative.
Well, well, you see, you only cooperate with people who are cooperative.
Okay, you're right.
See, in other words, if they want to treat you honestly and don't give you the shaft, then, of course, you cooperate with them. But if you have to fight them...
Well, you would think that this is kind of an awful large chain of hotels. Very well
let me tell you, the bigger they are, the more claims they have.
I'm sure. I'm sure they do.
And remember, the bigger they are, the more employees they have.
Yeah.
And today, those thefts, as a rule, take place not so much by outsiders, but they're inside jobs.
Yeah. Well, we were pretty unhappy that the hotel didn't really offer us anything really inconvenience as far as...
You know why? You didn't holler loud enough.
You're right. We were very easygoing and
you
nice
were. That's right. If you were at the front desk, let me tell you the situation that I know of that happened in a convention too. This chap, you know, he was one of the speakers.
My husband was to be a speaker too.
Okay, he stood at that front desk and didn't move away in a very loud voice. The assistant manager came out and he said, I'm not moving from here. And the manager cab was brought down. You know what they did? They marched him into the men's shop in a hotel.
Okay, fine.
And if nothing happens after that, send them another letter saying that you're giving them another week. And if you don't hear from them, you will retain.
Normally it's the policy of adjuster, I guess, to give it appreciation on clothes.
Oh, yes.
Right?
Oh, yes. And not only that, but he'll scare you. He'll tell you, well, what's a suit that's a year old worth? You know, what will the Salvation Army give you for it? That's not the criteria.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Meltzer.
Let me send you 2 T-shirts. You'll have something to wear anyway.
I would love it. Thank you.
Charlotte, 2 T-shirts so this lady has something to wear.